Aussie.
Hello. Opening with a question from Dr. Abigail. Don't understand Thanksgiving. How do I put it? Thanksgiving is a fiction America tells itself. One of many, but we're all guilty of that. It supposedly commemorates some sort of deal between First Nations people in America and colonizers. Supposedly nicey-nicey is the story Americans tell themselves. I don't think they have much evidence for being nicey-nicey with the indigenous folk. And it somehow got mutated into this thing where Americans are guilted into traveling back to their families and having awkward dinners, eating an absurdly misshapen, genetically engineered turkey corpse. Yes, Mr. Gonzo, happy Indigenous Slaughter Day is a bit more honest, as I said, compared to the stories that folk tell themselves. God, what's up? I believe it also marks the start of what Americans call the holidays. This is the holidays now through to New Year's. I think some people might argue it starts with Halloween, but I don't think it really does. I think the holidays, as in happy holidays, starts with Thanksgiving and is counted to be through to New Year's. Mr. Gonzo, do you mean it advances more and more each year? It starts earlier and earlier? Because, okay, this is just a question of phrasing and individual use of language. If I said that, I would mean push back further and further means it takes later. Yes. Dr. Abigail, we're in Tucker Carlson's War on Christmas now. Oh, it's a running joke here, Gonzo. See, because we don't really have that. So yes, Christmassy stuff has already started to appear in stores here. We don't do Thanksgiving, obviously. Now, I've got sticky stuff on my hand, as the actress said to the bishop. Yeah, we also have a running joke that the day after Christmas, one of the supermarkets at least will have hot cross buns on the shelf. It's not really a joke. That actually tends to happen. Certainly within the week after Christmas, usually the day after Christmas, there's hot cross buns. But mind you, I'm just waiting for, another week, and it's December, and they'll have eggnog in the supermarkets, because as Homer says, we only get 30 sweet noggy days till the government takes it away from us. And I'm too lazy to make my own eggnog. I've seen fantastic eggnog recipes, and I'm too lazy, because apparently with some of these really good recipes, it tastes better if you age it for 2 to 4 weeks. I think some people even say months, but you make this huge batch of eggnog weeks in advance, and then it tastes super yummy when you get it. Safa, as I understand it, the reference to Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. People who, were well off would mark their good fortune because they got new stuff. They would mark their good fortune by leaving their old stuff in charity boxes at church. But it's always hard to know with these weird sayings where it comes from. Oh yes, Nettie, that's a tribute to you. You shared the frying turkeys video, but I did actually see on the premier urban legend site Snopes. They said yes, there are actually more kitchen fires on Thanksgiving than any other day in the year in the US. Oh, well, Gonzo, off topic is what we do. Shitstain mass shooters. Oh, no, he's a worthless, sniveling, coward piece of fucking shit. I was pleased that he was beaten almost to death in the nightclub. Yeah, no, that person is a steaming pile of shit. Sorry, it's annoyingly sticky hands. I am just going to wash them. Charlotte's been on. Got my water filter jug. Okay. Dots a bit of butter. Yes, Gonzo. Apparently, their security was a military veteran. Yeah. No, I agree. Let's skip over murder. Actually, Safa, you literally was that a thing with the? Let me see if she's still out there. Shadow's still out here. No, she must have just run past. There you go. You got to see her because it's still daylight outside. My latest clarified cocktail. Super yummy. Mix of what is it? Cask strength whiskey and overproof rum base, and the pineapple juice, orange juice, and then milk clarified. It's very yummy. I may or may not do my thing of making short videos. I had a couple planned for this evening, and as is obvious, I wasn't making one at the start of the stream. Und so. But I might do it later. The ones I have in mind are a gin cocktail called The Last Word. There's all funky stuff, green chartreuse and maraschino. And a paper plane, which is a whiskey cocktail that also has a bittersweet aperitif and an amaro in it. And lemon juice. I think I might make them. Wow, I'm popular enough to get a porn bot. Neat. Yes, I'm in a marginal election. Who knows? Look, we've got 2 days to find out what happens in the election. As I said the other night, my deep hope now is that this is another election that proves the media fuckheads and pollsters have no fucking idea what they're talking about. But look, who the fuck knows? I have not changed my betting at all. Oh, yes. I have actually seen that, Mr. Gonzo. The runoff in Georgia is super fucking weird. Yes. Fortunately for you, Dr. Abigail, the other doctor is just one of my multiple personalities. As anyone who's watched me a long time on YouTube will know, that's a thing that happens when I make videos. I want to talk to myself. I get to potentially play that video later when I have a toilet break. Hello, Chris. Just finished 11 o'clock news already on. Must be daylight saving making the difference, Chris. You can see, look, it's quite light. It's another month of getting lighter. Actually, I have looked that up before, but I've forgotten. Summer solstice. Yeah, almost exactly a month. 4 weeks. 4 weeks exactly from today is the longest day. So it's going to be getting a bit lighter at the start of streams for 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome, Dr. Abigail. Lady friend brought you a black cardi with ducks on it. It's awesome. And Mr. Gonzo, I have not yet seen the Netflix All Quiet on the Western Front. It looks pretty intense. It looks like something I will watch. Looks pretty intense, as it should be, because it's meant to be an anti-war story. Yeah, it looks like it might actually be good in a theater, yes. Dr. Abigail, you've seen it as well. Intense and dark, what I was expecting. So, Chris, a few minutes to get home from the station. Freedom food. Yes, it's Freedom Food Day. Well, it's always freedom food, I guess. But just, don't set your kitchen on fire trying to deep fry a turkey. I think it was the Daily Show that was sharing a compilation of terrible disasters when people tried to deep fry turkeys because the boiling oil boiled over and landed on the flame, which created a huge conflagration. Safa, it's all freedom food. It's always freedom food. Gonzo, I would hate to think anyone tried to do that shit indoors. There were several videos of people who did in the past. But even outside, it's like people fill the bloody thing with oil and don't take into account the displacement caused by a fucking massive turkey, massive overspill of boiling oil onto flame, resulting in huge conflagration. Yes, that's what it's all about, Chris. It was bringing freedom to the First Nations who didn't realize they weren't free until some decent white people arrived and showed them what freedom was. Well, that sounds like sound medical advice, Dr. Abigail. Psychologist said, go home and have a drink of gin. Solid medical advice. Not that this is gin, but, drinks. All right, well, if your psychologist is saying a drink of gin, I might make the gin drink the last word. I have to get a couple bottles from next door. It's a plain one, the bitter and the Amaro. Last word wants the green chartreuse and the maraschino. Yeah, why not? It's a nice drink. Yes, Chris, it's hard to decide who got shown the most freedom, the buffalo or the First Nations people. Yikes. And yes, a based psychologist, Mr. Gonzo. I love it. Oh, Nettie's got muscat. Not a wine person myself, but enjoy. I still haven't opened my Dubonnet. I'm gonna make a cocktail with Dubonnet. Yes, they need their Greek history before they do the turkey into the boiling oil. Learn what Archimedes learned. Fatal freedom and pumpkin pie. Woo! I'm just gonna look. What glass do people normally serve a last word in? Last word cocktail. Okay, so Difford's who I tend to follow. A coupe. So one basic. I'm going to look at liquor.com. Liquor.com. Because I think it's an equal parts cocktail. And Lydia Simon Difford has changed it because he's a fussy mother. It is a 3. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna buck the trend. I'm gonna go equal parts. Gin, green chartreuse, maraschino liqueur, lime juice, and a cherry for a garnish. Nice. Oh yeah. Yes. No, that's the other one. I learned that when I was at McDonald's. Don't attempt to put I don't mean we had a fire. That's part of the training. Do not attempt to put out an oil fire with water. You want to smother it. So either a CO2 or foam fire extinguisher or a fire blanket. We had these big fuck off fire blankets next to the deep fryers at McDonald's in case something went wrong. You just got to smother it. Water actually spreads it, sometimes explosively. So, Mr. Gonzo, PC gaming, GeForce. Okay, that's confusing to me. Streaming a gaming rig to your PC for $20 a month. Used to frequent a Simpsons ship posting group. I only ever posted the picture of the giant golden gem encrusted Homer. Nice. Hey Greg, how you doing? Oh, so Gonzo, it's renting games. Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't play that much games, but that's good advice for people who play a lot of games. All right. Guts to go next door and get a couple of bottles. It's making some lime super juice earlier and debris that I've got to throw away. Ugh. All right. So this will just take me a second to find a few bottles I need. All right. Got all the bottles I need. Got my maraschino. Got my... Ooh, last of that Amaro. I'm going to have to go get some more Amaro Montenegro. All right. Okay. Gin. I'm just trying to finish my Archie's Bone Dry Gin. Not much left because I actually ordered another bottle of it. Oh. I need to go to my local. There's a remarkably good bottle shop a suburb or two across. Or I could go to the Bitters Lab. I haven't been there for a while. Dr. B on Mythbusters did an experiment. They dumped a bunch of water on a small oil fire, instantly set their entire fake kitchen on fire. Catastrophic. Yes. The non-scientific explosion is bubbling, burning oil is very volatile. Water does not go well with it, and the interaction of the water and the boiling, burning oil has like an almost explosive reaction and sprays the oil everywhere, and then it's like aerosolized fuel. Then it's like a fuel bomb, just goes kadoosh. Oh no, Greg knocked over a bottle of Strangelove ginger beer. Oh, with Jammer, nice. That would actually be nice. Jameson's Irish whiskey and Strangelove make nice mixes. I've got. I don't think it's their double ginger beer. I think it's their ginger ale. No, I still got one bottle. I got my Fever Tree spiced orange and Strangelove dry ginger ale. Fine mixes, both of them. Right, so I should set this up. Okay, I might just get a cube, get the shaker, and get the strainer. Okay, I'm gonna go and chill the cube. Didn't break. But you cracked the seal, so you have to open it and drink it. Okay. So, Dr. Abigail, so the oil's at 200-ish degrees, water flashes to steam, expands, spreads burning oil, explosive. Yeah, turns it into a fuel air bomb, disperses the oil into droplets, disperses it with explosive force, and it just ignites. It's the most devastating sort of bombs, just about short of nuclear bombs, are called fuel air bombs, and they do forced dispersion of combustible fuel and ignite it, and very big bada boom. Okay, so a last word. Lime juice. My freshly made lime juice. Right here. Okay. 3/4. All right. So we'll do the old turn around every now and then. It was like a Tumblr meme I saw a while ago that I thought was really funny. Is when a cop sort of draws on someone and the cop says, turn around, and the person starts singing, every now and then I get a little, and the cop says, turn around, and he goes, turn around, bright as, and then gets tased, because the cops don't have a sense of humour. Well, they're not Bonnie Tyler fans, one of the two. Alright, I'm just going to big light. I mean to dazzle you with technical terminology, but Jesus, what the fuck is going on here? Sorry, slight delay while I sort some shit out. Tangled cords, man. Cord gremlins. Hate cord gremlins that get in amongst stuff. And they just... stuff that wasn't tangled before, now is. Okay. God, where did I put shit? Honestly. Honestly. Oh, wait. Camera's all fucking way over here. Okay. Okay. Got my camera. Gonna put it on. Okay. Okay. Got it. Now, almost for no reason, what just popped into my head was, Helga, are you licking toads? Because I'm not licking toads. I don't have any toads or any other hallucinogens. I just think it's me. What the fuck, you fucking fuck? Gross. There's a fucking cockroach in my mixing glass. I'm just gonna have to clean it. Traumatizing. That's traumatizing. I mean, it was alive. It wasn't dead. It's just in a weird position, and it's dead now. I killed it because I'm a bad man. Get some shit happening. Right, turn it on a bright light. Oog, sugar. Right. If I say turn on anytime camera, that would be fine. Right. Alright, menu, shooting mode, high speed. There we go. I'm going to have to change batteries, I can see. That's right. All right, so. Oh, this we want. Not that. And not that. Oh, the old equal parts jobby. Screwed up in the chartreuse, congested with sugar. Naked maraschino, also congested with sugar. Occupational hazard with liqueurs. Yep, okay. So, this is easy. Get my jigger. Actually, I'm going to use this one because it's got a 3/4 mark on it. Anyway, okay. I mean, I can eyeball 3/4 on the others. This is just a bit more accurate if I do this. I mean, not that I care if I ever pour myself a drink, but let's give it a go. Gin. Chartreuse. Maraschino. And finally, some lime juice. I'm going to cheat, use a little less lime juice because I don't like that much lime juice. Dang. And Dunzo. Right, back around to the business side of the Lappy Toppy. And we'll turn this back around. There we go. Ooh, hope that's not making anyone seasick. Okay, I'll just get this back in order. Oh no, Nettie, did I put turn around bright eyes in your head? Sorry. Right, so. Okay. Happening. Bring the camera around here. All right. Now, going to get out the ice and my glass I was chilling. Oop, and I'll put the lids on these various bottles. Okay, I want this and this. Okay. What are we doing here? Moving that around there. Yeah. Oh, god damn it. I forgot to shoot pouring the drink into. God, my subconscious was telling me that. Damn it. All right. A little bit of resetting to do. That's all right. That's fine. Okay. So that and that and that. But this has to come back around. Ah! Not even gonna bother moving the webcam back and forth. This will just be really quick. And I'll give you headphone wearers warning and I'll walk away from the microphone a bit. That's good. All right. Shaking. Okay, I'm gonna walk away for a little bit and shake this. So. Okay, sexy picture of pouring the drink into the glass. All right. Gosh darn it. Okay, so bring this around here and put this about here. Gonna raise it a bit. Don't want to shoot up, that's an unflattering angle. Want to shoot slightly down. Wait, I just need to look something up. Last word. Let's see, how's that? That's pretty good. Get my audio recorder. And we're all ready to go. Okay. I'm gonna put the actual cocktails over here. Okay, this should be quick. The last word was first served in the Detroit Athletic Club more than a century ago, and you still find it in bars everywhere today. Plus, it's been a major influence on a lot of modern classics. The original is a shaken, equal parts cocktail, and it goes like this. In your shaker, you put 3/4 of an ounce of gin. In your shaker, you put 3/4 of an ounce, about 22.5 mils of gin. Then you add 3/4 of an ounce of green chartreuse, 3/4 of an ounce of maraschino liqueur, and finally 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Then you add ice to your shaker, shake that good and hard for like 10 or 15 seconds, and strain that into a chilled coupe. And here is the last word. It's really stood the test of time. The dryness of the gin, herbal elements from the chartreuse, and some sweetness from the maraschino, and of course the sour from the lime. All those bits come together to make a really nicely balanced cocktail. If you've never had one, I recommend it. Give it a go. Cheers. That was more than a minute, but now I've got a drink to sit down with. Stop. And stop. Goodbye. See you. Going to change batteries if I do another one. I might not do another one tonight. I don't know. I just don't know. Well, I think that's like too high, isn't it? I just want to, because I've been in a few online sessions this week with a lot of people on it. And for fuck's sake, what is with people doing like work calls like this? How after almost 3 years of working from like 2 3/4, when did we start doing it? Like April? More than 2.5 years. Anyway, more than 2.5 years of working from home. How the fuck are people still doing work calls like this? For fuck's sake. So, you do this. Properly framed. The last word. Not one of my favorite cocktails, honestly. I mean, it's not bad, though. It's not bad for a bit of variety. Dr. Abigail, I feel you may be onto something. People are idiots. That could well be the entire issue right there, neatly summarized. But also, it's just fucking embarrassing. Like, all jokes about boomers and older Gen X people. Gen X don't have a fucking excuse having, come of age in the 90s, being an adult in the 90s. But, for all those stupid jokes about boomers not getting technology, it's like, there's no fucking excuse. There is no fucking excuse. It's just embarrassing to see someone fail basic competence in framing their fucking webcam. It's ridiculous. Man, green chartreuse is a strong taste. This natural green, no artificial colors. That's from the herbs they make in it. Entirely according to the manuscript handed down to the Carthusian monks in 1605. Natural color derived from 130 herbs and plants used in patient production. Centuries of expertise, including slow aging in oak barrels, give chartreuse its extraordinary aromatic complexity, as well as each bottle's ability to age uniquely. Chartreuse can be enjoyed straight. Tried to say enjoyed straight, and it came out destroyed. Good Lord. On the rocks, and a classic cocktail. 55% alcohol. So considerably more potent than a lot of spirits are. Nettie, you reckon a lot of Gen Xers thought computers were for nerds and geeks, too cool to do the interwebs? Yes, we call those people losers. I still remember a job I had back in the 90s with a government department. We were doing an update to their global intranet. That was still a relatively new concept. It was probably about the third iteration. Like their first intranet basically worked but sucked. Their second iteration fixed most of the worst problems with the first one, but still kind of sucked. The third one, by that stage, they'd had about like 2 years of this, and the people in all the offices knew what they wanted. I was, being the business analyst, talking to people and doing the requirements gathering, and it was like getting it right for the first time. And I still remember, I was in Sydney at the time, but this really high up bureaucrat from Canberra came to visit because we were spending a lot of money on this and wanted to know what I would do. He's this old bloke, like he was such a fucking cliche. He had this big like walrus mustache, with silver and whatnot, and not even disparaging, not joking. I am completely sure he's the type of person who didn't actually even know how to make phone calls, like long distance phone calls. He pushed a button on his desk and said to his secretary, like, Miss Carruthers, connect me to, the Prime Minister. And his secretary would make the call and then connect it to his phone. So he just had to push a button and pick it up. I'm convinced he was that type of guy because he came into, what's all this shit? What's all this shit? And it's going, okay, well, it works like this. And we had it, sort of projecting up onto a big screen. And I was just like with a mouse going like, and you click on the things to do that. And he picked the mouse up like it was remote control and was pointing it at the screen in front of him and going click, click, click. It's not working. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. And I'm trying to sort of grab his arm and say, it goes down on the desk. And God eventually got rid of him. And then my boss goes, how did that go? I'm saying, can you please never let him in the room again? That was agonizing. Because you could also tell he was the type of guy that if you had to find a kind way to say you failed in some very basic competence there, he would take it very personally and get very angry at you. He would take his failure out on you. And yes, Dr. Abigail, very much a print my emails type of boomer. Funniest story about that I ever heard was someone who had a job as an assistant to like a boomer manager. And he didn't just ask to have his emails printed. He actually asked his assistant to read them to him. And she's going, Jesus Christ, okay, sure. And she'd read them through. And then he'd dictate back replies. And she'd go, sure, I'm in a menial job. Why not? But he would even do it with like personal ones with his, wife calling him little snuggy wumpkins. And he's saying, oh, write back a little note to my cuddle pie. And she's like, this is fucking weird. She eventually worked out he was illiterate. Pre-internet, all his communication with people was verbal. And he would dictate memos to his secretary whenever everything was paper based, and he would have someone read his mail. But with the internet, even the early days, email started to pick up. There was considerably more written communication, and and he's getting his assistant to read everything and write everything for him. And she eventually worked out he was illiterate, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't really want to judge someone for being illiterate, but God, Straight white men failing upwards or what? Ridiculous. Yes, I know, Safa. I know. Both of these stories were in the 90s. So quite early days of computers on desks. In my experience, computers on desks only became normal around, when would that have been? 95? About 95. Somewhere between 93 and 95. Oh, no, wait. I was just confused with the jobs I had. So I was about... Yeah, no, I was about 29 when I had this job. So that was late 90s. Yeah, it was somewhere between 95 and 97 anyway. So for 56K modems were super fucking expensive and not, only ultra rich had them. I started with a 14400 and, upgraded to 288. I probably had a 56K at one point. But then I got Foxtel and got broadband. Okay. A back in my day story. My first PC that I bought with my own money, for which I paid the princely sum of $2,000. Now, you get a pretty fucking kick-ass PC for $2,000 now. This was on sale because the Pentium computers had just come out. So this was a discontinued line. It was actually an SX33. The processor was a 33 megahertz processor. And the guy at the shop did me a deal to upgrade the processor to a DX66, later generation chip and twice as fast. So, that was wild. And so that was $2,000 fucking dollars. It was a 486, Abigail. My first computer was a 486. And hoodalally, I actually had that for a while. It was a while before I upgraded to a Pentium computer, actually. But yes, in the mid-90s, that shitty computer for $2,000 was cheap. And now, for $2,000, you get a pretty fucking amazing computer. Bumfuckers, how's it going? So that was somewhere in the mid-90s. I don't know. Somewhere around 93 to 95. Hey, I don't write these. I don't keep a diary. I'm not Anne Frank. Ah, yes. For floating point operations, upgrading the SX to a DX. Whole different type of processor. And I remember the guy I bought it from. He did a lot of freelance home tech support stuff, and he was very good. And he set all this shit up because, of course, although I think this was... No, it was Windows 3 point something. Windows 3.1x. And because it was definitely pre-95, so it wasn't Windows 95. You had to have a Pentium to run Windows 95. So it was Windows 3.1x. And he also set up a DOS shell. Because there were a whole bunch of programs you had to run from the DOS prompt, but it was a very simple visual interface to run all the DOS programs. He was pretty clever. Mrs. Angry Mrs. Angry left me a tiny bit of my clarified Sazerac so she could say she didn't drink it all. Probably should have drunk that last little bit. But anyway, I'll have that last little bit. Then I'm going to try my freezer martini. So I topped it up today with some interesting different stuff, and I want to know what that difference that made. Is it a good difference or a bad difference? So Dr. Bear, last 16-bit Windows was 3.11. Yeah, it was interesting. Windows 3 was the first decent operating system Microsoft did, because Windows and Windows 2 were honestly fucking terrible. But Windows 3 actually worked, and then sort of the patch updates. By the time it got to 3.1, it was actually quite good. It was actually quite a good operating system at that point. And then came Windows 95, changed everything. And it did. I think Windows 95 is a positive. Oh, god damn, that's good. Might have to try milk clarifying my other barrel-aged cocktail that I got in the fridge. We Mrs. Angus like, oh, for election night, we probably want things that you can just pour easily. I think I've got 6 different ready-to-pour drinks in the fridge or freezer. So, yeehaw. Good point, Dr. Abigail. You can make the argument Windows wasn't really an operating system; it was running on DOS. Yes, it was user interface for the operating system. That is an absolutely fair point to make. I was speaking from the layperson's issue. So if you talk about printer issues, blue screens, holy shit, did my head in the way you had to have fucking drivers for everything. Nowadays, you plug a device in to your computer, and if you're internet connected, 99 times out of 100, it just looks at what's that, and the device in your computer do a little handshake, and the computer goes, oh, I know what that is. I know what I have to install to make that run, and it does it. Christ, back in the day, you had to have a whole fucking library of drivers to make every plugin work. Fucking your mouse, your keyboard, your speakers, your printer, your webcam, all this shit. You needed a fucking driver for it. And you had to get the shit manually. Bumfungus, good question. CD drive on a computer. Because my current one doesn't have one. I've still got a working computer that I haven't working. I haven't fired it up in many years. In theory, it's working. A working PC that has a floppy disk drive as well as a optical disk drive. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes, currently Windows takes care of the drives. It just finds them. You had to fucking have the goddamn drivers on hand, whereas now the computer just actually communicates with the device and goes, oh, I know what I need to install. It's fucking great. So yeah, Dr. Abigail, what was the first Windows version that actually liberated itself from DOS? Because that was a big deal, if I remember rightly. The first Microsoft operating system that liberated you from DOS, which a lot of people thought was a backward step. They thought, that was it. And that was the one for business, Windows NT. That was the one that's for business, Windows NT. So it is an unfortunate problem that various Windows updates aren't perfect. And the consumer version was Windows 2000. Oh, does anyone remember? I forget which operating system upgrade it was. But there's one of the, their big road shows, big media events, Bill Gates on stage talking about the next big thing, and it's up on the screen, and it does like this, and it fucking blue screen of death on Bill Gates at a media launch for Windows OS, and it was like, holy shit. And everyone kind of laughed, and then fully kind of anyone who knew anything about how these things work just goes, oh my God, someone's going to get fucking murdered. Gates will just be wanting, because he had a bad fucking temper. And he was going to make someone pay for publicly embarrassing him. It's kind of like one of the alternative telcos in Australia. It might have been Three, because I know it's a telco that doesn't exist anymore in Australia, but they were trying to be like, yeah, we've got better technology than anyone. And they were proving it, because back in the day when, not that phone connectivity is flawless now, but this was more than a decade ago when it was really flaky. And like, if you went up a lot of floors on a building, a phone would stop working. I was with Three as well for a while, Dr. Abigail. Then Vodafone bought them, I think. But anyway, so this guy, he was gonna have a press conference where he made a call from the 50th floor where mobile phones just usually didn't work, and he was going to call someone who was in Alice Springs, which is again an area that notoriously had bad coverage. So he was, with his big press conference, he was going to make a call in a way that, there's a little thing flying around, that previously wouldn't have been possible, to show how good their networking connectivity was. Lo and behold, he couldn't connect the call with all the media there. He was super fucking angry. Someone had the skin ripped off their body for that. That's right. That was the sequence, Dr. Abigail. Three bought by Orange, bought by Vodafone. And yes, Arthur, Crazy Johns used to advertise all the time. Yeah, Bumfungus, Bill Gates enjoyed quite a few freaky things, like hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Apparently the major cause of his divorce, that his wife is like, the fuck are you doing hanging out with that fucking sex abuser, pedophile? What are you doing? You've got to stop. He's, oh, no, I like it. And because he's a scumbag. I mean, he does a lot of good with charity. There's also some fairly serious questions he needs to answer about how some of his charitable endeavors happen and work and all that sort of shit. But, I don't think you can reasonably argue that his charitable works haven't saved thousands and thousands of lives, particularly the malaria stuff he puts money to. There's just other stuff he and his charitable endeavors do that's dodgy. It's very dodgy. But yes. Was his involvement with Epstein the dodgiest thing? Who knows? Who knows what secret he has? All right, where are we? 1 hour in. I'm pretty freaking, because I've got all these bottles here, so I'm pretty freaking tempted to just make the other cocktail. The last word I'm doing. White Lady's done. The paper plane. I need whiskey and lemon juice. Okay. I need to get a different battery. Maddie, crack one open. I think I'm going to make a paper plane. See if I like it. I haven't made one for a while. So making cocktails I haven't made for a while for my YouTube channel. because these are in the top 50 most, in fact, they're in the top 40 most searched on the Difford's website, which has a lot of traffic to justify these rankings. So these are the things that people look for on the internet. So therefore, they might look for them on my YouTube channel. Who knows? Who knows indeed. All right. But I am going to need a new battery for my camera. So I forgot to charge between uses. So I'll just duck next door and get one of my spare batteries. Alrighty. So I always like to have a spare battery with my video cameras, not rely on one. And so I had two batteries, and I dropped the camera one day, which I fucking freaked out at. And it didn't damage actually, it might have dented the camera. Didn't break the camera, but it broke the housing on the battery, and it wouldn't work properly. So I went back to the shop where I bought it, and because it'd been years since I bought it, so hoping they still had batteries. And I showed it to him. The guy said, "Oh, that's an old one," and he's sort of like checking out the back. And he brought out three of these little batteries, and goes, "Here you go. You have these three for, it's like $70 or something." And I was like, "Oh, I only want one. Like, was this guy suddenly trying to make me buy three?" And he goes, "Well, you can have one for $50, or you can have three for $70. Okay, pushy salesman, I'll have three for $70. And so now I've got a whole bunch of spare batteries. I've just got to remember to charge them. Okay. Und so. So put this back on the tripod. I have to decide what whiskey to put in the cocktail. Y to F. Now, which one's this? Rye whiskey, almost gone. Oh, the fortified cask. I won't. I'll use that something else. Then I'm going to use the Cape Byron whiskey. Why the heck not? Alright, so I'm going to put this back. Oof. Teeny bit of that gin left. I'll have to make something with that. Not sure when the replacement's going to arrive. Could be anywhere between tomorrow and next Friday, really. Okay. So, all right. Gonna move everything around. Yes, I'm making another apple brown sugar syrup. A couple of hours ago, that was all dry brown sugar. And the apples are liquefying it and turn it all over. Something really satisfying about turning things over. Just this sludge. Yes, put the sludge on the apples. And by tomorrow, that will have completely liquefied. And I can make a super yummy syrup with it by combining some cooking spices with it. Safa, he literally just found the batteries in a drawer in the office and just wanted to get rid of them. And hello, Lee, by the way. Right, so camera, come around here. Gonna do this. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, oof. That was a bit decadent, wasn't it? Big old burp. Bring that around there. Right. Oh, looks a lordy. Swap the lime juice for the lemon juice. Need to squeeze some more lemons tomorrow. But that's enough for one cocktail. Okay. I do the same thing. What did they suggest serving a paper plane in? Oh, fuck off. Shitty search engine on this site that doesn't have any fuzzy logic. Like if you do one thing wrong, or one letter wrong, it won't find it. Bourbon, Aperol, Amaro, lemon juice in a coupe. All right, I'm just going to use the same fucking glass. No one will know. It's no one on the internet knows I lie. Do I know anyone owns a typeset stamp set? Embossing. See, I try to. What my brain sometimes gets ahead of itself and crunches two words together for embossing lettering on leather or such. Mr. Gonzo has a leatherwork friend. Yes, that's what I thought. You're literally on the other side of the planet. I'm sure we could find you someone, Dr. Trappier. In fact, what might be worth your while is checking out the libraries that have like sort of maker setups. I know the Docklands library has a pretty significant maker space in it. They might have that sort of thing. Just as a possibility, you might be able to get it done in a library. All right. So it's for bookbinding, but same deal. Yeah. No, I think that might work for you is a library. Bourbon, Aperol, Amaro, lemon juice. Gonna turn this around again, just so you can see me doing stuff. All right. Well, that's too high, I think. Maybe. Who knows? Right, so this. And we're going to lower it down for a better angle. Like that. Quick rinse it to do. Don't know why I said that. All right. Stick your fingers in your ear and say ting-a-ling-a-loo. I did not invent that. That's a song. I'm not crazy. Or at least that's not evidence. Shooting mode, high speed. So I can slow it down and we get the sexy slow motion shots. So that's ready. Alright, a little food dish down there getting in my way. Alright. A little pop from the cork. Get the bits ready. God damn it. You go there. The Aperol. Or my local Aperol substitute. But again, no one on the internet will know I'm lying. That's videos are lies, kids. Okay. 3/4. Here we go. Let's get 3/4 of an ounce of whiskey ready. Okay. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy. In fact, they do not. Pero, amaro, non niño. It's Montenegro. No. That I'm a liar. None of you tell anyone, okay? Nobody tell that I lie on the regular. To break that to someone in a comment on a YouTube video. I do something in a video and they go, oh, if you did that, wouldn't there be a problem with this? Like, yeah, dude, I had to break it to you, but I fucking cheat when I make videos. Things I say are happening are not necessarily what's happening. Shocking, I know. Where's the faith in common human decency gone, eh? That's what I say. All right. This camo. Oh, God, I did it again. I need to do a shot of pouring it into the glass. God damn it. God, why didn't you all tell me? All right. So, once again, getting some ice. That'll do. All right. Oh, let me set the Cooper there, I think. I'm going to shake it. I'm going to step away a bit, but if you're wearing headphones, I'm shaking it. It's ice. Got to get my camera set up. Try a little tenderness. Get a sexy slow motion shot of pouring into the coupe. Okay. All right. Don't miss anything in the chat while I was doing that foolishness. Thanks, Dr. Abigail, for that. And hello, Megaleech. Sorry, that was a really attractive angle I was on there, wasn't it? Something everyone wants to see. All right. So do this, and then I'm done in fact, then I'm done for the month. I edit these and upload and schedule them. I'll have scheduled videos right to the end of November and have met my goal of uploading a video every day in November on my cocktail channel. Right. Well, let's have a little breaky poo. And let's do this. All right, how's that? That'll do. That's looking pretty good. Where's my audio recorder? Dun, dun, dun. The Paper Plane is a modern classic that's a riff on the 20th century classic, The Last Word. Like The Last Word, it's an equal parts cocktail, and it goes like this. In your shaker, we put 3/4 of an ounce of whiskey of your choice, and to that we add 3/4 of an ounce of Aperol, then we add 3/4 of an ounce of Amaro Nonino, and finally 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Add ice to your shaker, give it a good hard shake for 10 to 15 seconds, and then strain that into a chilled coupe. And there is your Paper Plane. That light bitterness from the Aperol and the Amaro goes so well with the whiskey and the lemon juice. This is probably more robust than A Last Word, but it's a nice riff. I recommend you try it out. Cheers. That will do. Hopefully that sounded vaguely coherent. Switch these things off, and I'm not going to make any more. Oofed. Now, oh, I know, I'm shocked all of a sudden. There you go. That's frame. And I'm also going to turn, although I don't mind that light, it's just a bit bright. I do this. Lighting's a bit softer now, a bit more subdued, a bit more intimate, I think. A bit more intimate. We like that, don't we? Doesn't look like it on my screen, but I feel like just the change for me, I feel like I'm sitting in the dark over here. The lights are all on the other side of the kitchen. Anyway, Paper Plane. You're supposed to use a tiny clothes peg to clip on a tiny paper plane. Can it be fucked? Anyway. That's actually pretty good. God, there's something about the way the whiskey interacts with the bitter elements, and they're only lightly bitter. They're not like Campari, which is fucking gross. And the lemon juice with the sour as well. So this is certainly on the drier side, cocktail-wise. I mean, you are getting some sweetness from the aperitif and the Amaro, even though they both have bitter elements as well. There's sugar in them as well. And there is, of course, sugar in whiskey. But it's actually pretty nice. Yeah, no, each time I take it, that's actually pretty good. That's a 7.5. I think that's an occasion cocktail. There are free girls in my city. Well, I hope there are no imprisoned girls in my city. Safa, Campari is just extraordinarily bitter. I would say the only people that it makes sense to have Campari in your home bar are people who are super fucking seriously into cocktails. Yeah, and you have to be into bitter. You have to really be into bitter. I'm quite intrigued that YouTube has not yet automatically blocked those porn bots, because they're very predictable. They have very predictable usernames. It tends to take YouTube a while, and then they end up being super good at preemptively blocking bots. And it's a constant arms race, and then the spammers come up with another permutation, and then they have the upper hand for a while. Oh, you've seen those ones, Safa? Yes, that's they either say WhatsApp or Telegram. You comment on a popular video, and there is a reasonable chance you will get a reply that has the username is that channel's name. So, for instance, it's Angry Aussie at Telegram, and it says, "Oh, this is a great comment. You're one of our top fans. Message me on Telegram, and I'll tell you how to collect a prize." And yeah, these people have set up a fake account on another messaging service. And it is, of course, just to fucking rip you off. And that's another one I'm surprised YouTube hasn't gotten rid of, because it's extremely productive. Like, they could just do a string search for particular things and automatically ban all the accounts that have that in the display name. And also the phrasing is very consistent. They could send out a communique to creators just saying, look, spam bots are using this phrasing, so we are going to automatically suspend accounts that use that phrasing, so don't ever use that phrasing. But Megaleech, are they naughty girls in a nice way? That's actually pretty good. If I remember rightly, quite early in the days of my cocktail channel, so about 2 years ago, I did a milk clarified paper plane, and it was really fucking yummy. Oh, it's actually, no, I am enjoying that. That's an 8. And I think it's a situational 8. It's like an 8 out of 10 means I would make it again. And it's very much when I want that type of drink, I would make it again. And that's not every day. Anyone who knows me is like, oh, a milk clarified drink, I'll have that anytime. Old fashioned, anytime. Martini, anytime. Wow, another one. I just feel so validated by these porn bots that I'm important enough to get 3 porn bots in one evening so far. It genuinely makes me feel loved, not by the girls looking for love in my area, because they're not real, but that I'm worth the effort of spamming like that. Worst spam ever. But it makes me feel loved. So thank you, spam bots, for making me feel like there was a point to my existence. I certainly struggle with it from time to time, but you've given me meaning, spam bots. I feel whole because of you. I feel wanted. I feel seen. I feel appreciated. It's just, it's very special to get those messages from you. Hi, YouTube. You are so very weird. Oh, God. Yeah, no, that's a good one, Bum Fungus. The Rick and Morty little robot. What is my purpose? Master, you pass butter, and it's just so devastated. Rick's actually made a self-aware robot, and it's become aware that its existence is really meaningless. It's oh god, what was that reminding me of? I had something. Star Wars robots. Where you look at Star Wars robots, it appears they are coded well enough to have, at the very least, a simulacrum of a personality and a simulacrum of self-awareness. Now, as we have learned in our modern world, you can fool people into thinking a program is sapient quite easily because people see what they want to see. You know, people anthropomorphize their fucking Roomba vacuum cleaners, for fuck's sake. So the Star Wars robots might just be a simulacra of self-awareness, a simulacra of personality, but they might actually be self-aware. They might actually be have an individual sense of self and personality, which means using robots for menial tasks is enslavement, which came out in the Solo movie. Not a great movie, but not terrible. But the thing that is definitely canon in Star Wars is the robots, for some fucking reason, are programmed to feel pain. Because you see Jawas torturing robots. And it's just like, what sick motherfucker programmed robots to feel pain? And I guess you could make the argument that it's valid for the same reason that humans feel pain. It's a protective thing. Because if you didn't feel pain when a damaging thing was happening, you would allow the damaging thing to keep happening to the point it would cause you permanent injury or death. So maybe it makes sense from that perspective for robots, but it's pretty fucked up. Hey, Alexander, by the way, walked in on me having a philosophical conversation with Rose. Oh, Megali, she leapt to the same thing to keep them from hurting themselves. Yeah. But yes, but then we see in the Star Wars world people torturing them. It's weird. And Dr. Abigail, that is an interesting argument. And I think you make a very valid argument in that thing. And I'll be a bit more precise when that. If you create a simulation of sapience, emotions, self-awareness, pain well enough, how humans react to that is no different to them reacting to it in a real person. So if you have simulated those things well enough, a human's reaction to that simulation tells you as much about that person as their reaction to an actual physical person. Because, of course, then we're getting into questions about the nature of reality. It's like that little famous passage in 1984 where the dude says to Winston Smith, you know, you're talking about truth and whatnot, but if I wholeheartedly believe I float in the air like a soap bubble, and you wholeheartedly believe I float in the air like a soap bubble, then I do float in the air like a soap bubble. So the quest is to get people to believe things wholeheartedly and unreservedly. I need to put the lid on it. Also, I'm going to rinse this out, and I'm going to have a teeny taste of my freezer martini. I mean, it's not that like oh shit. Oh no, I don't. I thought, oh no, I have to drive somewhere in the morning. Yeah, that's in 12 hours. I think I'll be sober in 12 hours. My God. Just imagining the amount I'd have to drink to not be sober in 12 hours. Basically, I'd have to drink another 12 standard drinks, which is reasonably disturbing, quite honestly. I guess it's theoretically possible that I could keep drinking if I stayed up and drink enough that I was still above the limit in 12 hours. I'm not going to, because that sounds bad. But theoretically, I could. Freezer martini. It's my freezer martini. I need something a bit experimental with my freezer martini. Do. All the cool kids have a freezer martini. All right. Oh, I like it. I think I should put a bit of. Oh man, what's this? Oh, that's pretty good. It's got a slightly weird aftertaste. Maybe put a bit more vermouth in there. Maybe even a bit more of the saline. And yes, Suffer, I did see Friendly Jordan's house got firebombed. I'm sure he's regretting the fact that it became known where he lived in Bondi, apparently. Yeah, that's some weird parasocial thing going on. I know people are getting very conspiratorial minded about it. I would doubt it's anything to do with any of the political parties or the cops or anything. I'd say it's just a random internet fuckwit. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, Dr. Abigail, because if it's in reference to something I said, he didn't want his address disclosed. No, the fact that someone targeted him meant that it was known where he lived. I get what you're saying, because the media did actually post photos of his burnt out house. Oh no, Alexander, Friendly Geordie's is not giving me a hard time. Another weird fuckwit who's giving me a hard time, who's obsessed by me, was also obsessed by Friendly Geordies and used to bring him up all the time on the streams before I blocked him, and I'm not joking, 50 times, because the sad fucking loser kept creating other accounts. Yes. Well, again, in this, I don't know if you mean in the past or now, Abigail. I could imagine clubs New South Wales doing it in the past because they were really pissed off at him. But yes, it's clearly his address was known. No, Alexander, it wasn't VD. VD is comparatively harmless. Just a sad guy that I actually kind of feel bad for. But yes, I think it's just some standard internet fucking weirdo who's done it. Okay, see, this is a thing that I don't pay attention to, Dr. Abigail, so I thank you for this filling in. Yes, I imagine clubs in New South Wales did do it in court documents because, yeah, they fucking hate him. And the media did it on TV. There you go. But yes. Yes, that's the problem with notoriety. Yeah, I mean, it's like a few years ago, there were some super fucking weird stories and videos. Those American dudes, like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, and the house they had all the people around, and it was just in a residential neighborhood, and those fuckwits ruined that residential neighborhood for the people who were just. I mean, also it was a super rich Beverly Hills neighborhood, so fuck those people. I don't really care about them, but just in principle, they're not great people. Dr. Gower, you may well be right. Are we a Liberal Party supporter? Like I said, I think it was just some standard internet fucking weirdo. Yeah, now he's going to be put in a difficult situation. I would say he's more than likely going to want to sell that place. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's look, I could pick 100 holes in his behavior on a bunch of stuff, but there's no fucking way that activity is even remotely reasonable behavior. There's nothing within 100 miles of a justification for doing something like that. So you're saying he's not going to do videos for a while? Yes, it's going to move. And again, that's just fucking difficult. And yeah, the police should take it really fucking seriously. It is someone has gone in there with the intent of doing something that has the very real potential to kill people. Like, that's a premeditated act that has a very real chance of killing people. It's very bad. And again, someone who would do that is a very dangerous person, because that's a person who attempts to kill someone for, just posting stuff on the internet that pisses them off. So could you imagine actually having the bad luck to intersect with someone like that in real life? Someone who thinks trying to kill someone is just like, no, that is a bad person right there. Sorry, thank you, Dr. Abigail. Oh my God, that's brilliant. A job for the fixated persons unit. Yep, that looks like what it is, a job for the fixated persons unit. I believe they are already familiar with one Jordan Shanks, so they've got a starting point for their investigations. John Barilaro, you fuckwit. And again, I'm absolutely not on board with the dumb and inaccurate racial stereotypes Friendly Geordie's used to make fun of John Barilaro, but holy fuck, what a piece of shit. Not a great person. John Barilaro, not a great person. Someone who I don't think would do really well. I mean, I'm speculating. I wouldn't make any conclusive judgment till after an investigation, but I'm speculating. Here's a person who will not do well if he was subjected to a serious criminal/corruption investigation. Just a guess. And Safa, no, he had nothing to do with it. No. The idea that any of the political people he targeted were actively involved, I think is nonsensical. It's just your fucking standard random internet fuckwit did it. Because standard random internet fuckwits are dangerous. Mm. Well, Suffer, it doesn't have to be a furrow. It's just a fuckwit. It's just someone like, it's, you know, you just get this whole swath of people who act fucking weird on the internet, and they're disconnected from reality, and it's increasingly clear that you get a bunch of these people on the internet who get into these little paranoid conspiracy echo chambers where they all tell each other they're right and everyone else is wrong, and they convince themselves that they will never face repercussions for their actions because God's on their side. The most extreme example is the January 6th insurrectionists in the US who committed one of the most serious crimes you can commit in the US, an armed attack on the Capitol building. And they clearly believed they would never face any repercussions for doing it. And that is just not smart. That is a disconnect from reality. When you are doing a serious, violent uprising against authority, you will pay a price for it. And these detached from reality lunatics believe they won't face any repercussions. It's like all the cookers with their anti-lockdown shit. They convince themselves they're beyond the law. They make up this stupid shit about being a sovereign citizen or something, and they think it's real. They convince themselves that these deranged, deluded ideas they have are real, and they think they'll never face any repercussions for what they do, and they're shocked as fuck when they face repercussions. And I'd feel very confident that whatever piece of shit did that firebombing thinks they'll never face any repercussions for it because they haven't processed in their stupid little brain they have committed an incredibly serious criminal offense. Hi, Redfoot, how you going? Thanksgiving on a deep fried wombat with turducky. Yeehaw! Yes. Oh, that sounds like fun, Alexander. I don't know who Donut Operator is, but they do videos on Solved Citizens. Oh my god! Again, those people are fucking unhinged. And again, they get on little Facebook groups and other discussion groups online, and they gas each other up, and they convince themselves that they convince each other that they're right, and they convince themselves of things that are completely disconnected from reality. And the fundamental core thing they believe is they'll never face any repercussions because they're right and everyone else is wrong. And they get shocked as hell when they face repercussions because they're goddamn idiots. All right, so that little freezer martini was yummy. I might even top it up again before putting it out. So, Alexander, Donut Operator, retired US cop reviews body-worn camera footage. Fun. Oh, yeah, because cops would regularly run in with sovereign citizens who have these magic words that they think mean a cop can't arrest them. Then they get shocked as fuck when a cop arrests them. Particularly when they try and physically stop the cop and then the cop violently subdues them. All right. I might use the last of this gin. I've got a funnel here. Top up my freezer martini. I might have another freezer martini tomorrow. That was a fun noise. I love that noise. Is this one going to do it? It's a pretty good noise. Wait. That might be too much. Let me see. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. You know what? I might just... Ooh. I might just have some gin on ice. Just a tiny bit. Oh, yeah, it's a tiny bit of gin. I ordered another bottle of this. Don't panic. Nobody panic that I'm running out of Archie Rose Bone Dry Gin, which is a fucking awesome gin, because I ordered some more. So, Megalich, your daughter thinks if Club Q incident was taught us anything, don't need a good guy with a gun. We need a couple of gay people. Stop bad guys with a gun. Man, community self-defense is what we need. Project Red. Sad story about sovereign decisions. Oh my God. Aidsy and I know someone who was both, she was this weird mix of, being into this sort of Wiccan and Discordian stuff and also being into sovereign citizen shit. And she got pulled over by a cop in Geelong. And I'm not exactly sure why the cop pulled her over. I thought she was driving erratically or something. But said, show me your license. And she started saying this shit like, I'm a higher being from another planet. I don't need any of your stuff, which made the cop think she was either high or drunk or both. And he's going like, yeah, no, you need to get out of the car. And she's going, no, I don't need to pay attention to you. Your earthly rules don't bind me. And the cop reached through the window of the car to take the keys out of the ignition, and she accelerated away with a cop half in her car window and dragged him down the street. Surprisingly, cop was not friendly to her after that. And she seemed genuinely surprised when she got a fucking jail sentence for that. It was like, well, I'm not surprised you got a fucking jail sentence for endangering the life of a cop because you're a fucking lunatic who has a very poor grasp on what's real and what's your fantasy world. So she was a very weird mix of solved citizen and this sort of arcane Wiccan Discordian alternate reality belief stuff. Didn't end well for her. Ugh. Okay, so I just made my martini much stronger. Put that bottle in the recycling. I'll keep the stopper because it's always good to have stoppers because they break eventually. Ugh, now I just made my martini much stronger. Well, actually, not much stronger, but stronger. I'll taste it again tomorrow. So does Shania have lots of crime? I don't think so. But this was a weird one. Oh God, that Archie Rose makes such good gins. It's such a clean taste. Like it's a really potent gin, but just chill it a bit. It's just diluted a little bit with the ice. And it's such a clean taste because the more mainstream gins, your Gordons, your Tanqueray, whatever, there's like, I don't know, sort of a medicine-y over flavoring of them. They don't taste clean. Good Australian gins taste really clean. Oof, that's yummy. And I'm gonna eat my cherry after this too. Bit of orange peel in there that Mrs. Angry can put in her hot chocolate in the morning. She's still in the next room watching the British murder show with her son. Uh, mm, 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 mm. Mm. Oh my god, yummy. Love those Luxardo cherries. Okay. Going to my project management board. Move the paper plane from to do to doing. The apple malt toddy, what's in there? Apple cider, whiskey, and it's an apple brandy. So I might just do brandy. Allspice strap. Or I might make an apple liqueur. I got to go out to Blackheart and Sparrow and see if they have any of the still apple cider that I like. Otherwise, I will make this with bubbly apple cider. So, apple cider, whiskey, apple liqueur, allspice dram, and maple syrup. Man, that's going to be because that's called an apple malt toddy. So my intent is to make that and barrel age it and then have it warm as a toddy. Man, that's going to be fucking good. Project Redfoot having a giggle because I'm going to eat my cherry. Yeah, that's right. It's definitely sexual, is what I'm saying. It's kind of like I found it so easy to upload a video a day on my cocktail channel. I might keep doing it. I don't know. Just going to fucking see what happens, I guess. Because it's working. All the metrics for my cocktail channel are improving. And if that continues to build, if I improve on the improvement, then the next month would be another huge increase in Redfoot. Okay, so you've got a frame for the painting. I absolutely do. I'm actually really excited by the idea of you sending me a painting. I'm not just saying that. I'm genuinely into it. Get it by Christmas. Nice. No, I swear, I'm actually really keen to see it. I'm quite excited by the idea. So, yeah, maybe I can even hang it like here, so it's always on the live streams. That'd be fun. We'll see. But yeah, no, I'm actually genuinely excited at the idea. So please don't second guess yourself or undermine yourself. Like drinking the last little dregs out of all my glasses. I'm not an alcoholic. Let's go have a drink of this. This is I use this in one of the cocktails. Naked Maraschino. I feel like that's just flaring out. This is a liqueur made by the same people I get these barrels from. White Possum. So they do a couple of things. They make liqueurs. They sell those little barrels, 1 liter. I think they actually sell some bigger ones too. I just got the 1 liter ones because I like them. And they curate gift packs of spirits from other distillers as well. So they're pretty cool. But yeah, they make some interesting liqueurs. A little taste of their maraschino. A little bit more so you taste it. So I think there's a description on Le Bottle. So where possible, we bottle liqueurs in used glass bottles. Collect empty bottles from bars, strip the labels, give them a hardcore rinse, shine them up for a new off. So they're very into sustainability, the White Possum people. I think the wood on the little barrels is repurposed as well. So they call this maraschino reimagined. Intense cherry liqueur fuses traditional maraschino flavors with a smattering of Australian desert peaches. That sounds good, doesn't it? Australian desert peaches. To make it, we slowly ferment and distill sour cherries over many weeks in order to extract those elusive, luxurious cherry flavors. Then we add a rich infusion of quandongs, which is a semi-sweet indigenous peach. Well, we call it a peach. It's an indigenous fruit that's kind of like a peach. It contributes a distinct fruity aroma before letting all the flavors rest, mellow, and marry together in harmony. We don't add artificial colors or flavors. That's the way we like it. Naked. Hi, John on Facebook. Most of the people watching are on YouTube, which is why I mentioned that you're on Facebook, because if they're on YouTube, they won't see your comment. Put it on the screen. Ooh, God, they're recommending pouring this over strawberries and topping with cream. Or make like an aviation, gin, this, and lemon juice. Anyway, I just poured a little bit of it over ice. My last little drinky before going to bed. Yeah, Redfoot, they make it sound nice, don't they? That is really, oh man, that is really nice. Oh my God, it's just like syrupy, sweet. Yes, it's a over ice cream. This shit over ice cream would be great. Johnny Knoxkill, bro, how you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you've been keeping well. Just finishing off the evening because I am not far off bedtime. Having just a little sip of my naked maraschino liqueur on ice. Nice. The Wiggles won Best Live Act Aria. Hottest 100 beam continues. Again, it's because there's fucking generations that grew up with the Wiggles. And me, as a Gen Xer, I remember them as the Cockroaches. They were a really fun pop band in the mid to late 80s. And they actually released some fucking great pop under the name The Cockroaches. Several of them had gone to uni and done teacher training, and they worked out there was actually a lot of fucking money in doing stuff for kids. So after being The Cockroaches for a few years and having very middling success, they invented the Wiggles and became a fucking powerhouse. And go the Wiggles is all I'm going to say. Yeah, Johnny, the Cockroaches are really fun, very 80s indie pop. Very light. They're very light. Oh man, this okay. I have not just drunk this for ages. Like, I don't know. I haven't even used this much. I don't even remember how long ago I got this. 6 months ago? Time doesn't mean anything. Time doesn't mean anything. Ever since COVID, time ceased to mean anything. I don't know if I got this 6 months ago or a year ago. I could actually look up my emails for when I ordered it, but I can't be bothered. It's lost in the mists of time, is what I'm saying. And yes, Dr. Abigail, parents will pay a lot for other people to entertain their kids. And that's how the Wiggles made their money. Redfoot, you're at a brother's place for Thanksgiving. Stayed up all night. So here you are, 6 a.m. Yeah, look up the Cockroaches. It's really fun. 80s indie pop. Very light, very light. Like, but they're fun. You'll probably find them on YouTube and shit. Johnny, Amyl and the Sniffers won 2 arias. Well, they're kind of fun. Oh, nice. I like that project, Redfoot. The Thunderlords. Noisy songs for noisy kids. Metal for kids. I like the sound of that. That's fun. That is some serious fun right there. Actually, speaking of the 80s, because I grew up in country New South Wales, out west, Dubbo, and we did actually have some nationally famous pop stars, the Reels, and they're very good. The Reels were really good. I've got a few of their records. Yeah, I recommend the Reels, also Reels. They were another fun 80s indie pop band. Johnny, no way are the Cockroaches metal or punk. No, they're pop. Pop, and there's that 80s vibe where a lot of white guy 80s pop had a kind of ska feel to it. The Cockroaches weren't ska, but there was a bit of a vibe. Like an English equivalent was Aztec Camera. White boy pop that kind of had blues and soul and ska influences. Cockroaches definitely not metal or punk. To me, they're very light pop. Quite enjoyable though. Project Redfoot grew up next to the Itchy Fish, and you just doxed yourself. Only if people know the Itchy Fish. Yeah. So yeah, Johnny, the Reels went through a few phases. Their early stuff was super boppy. What were the really super boppy ones? Like they were on Countdown. Prefab Heart was a really good boppy one. What was the other really boppy one they had? The Prefab Heart just falls apart when you become again. And they got a bit more soulful as they went along. They released a few albums. They have a really interesting covers album. It's a covers of Australian tracks called Neighbours, and so they do covers of famous Australian pop and rock songs in quite different styles. Like the ones that stand out to me, they do the Cold Chisel song "Forever Now," but to a waltz time. So it's a kind of country and western slide guitar thing to a waltz time code. And they did an absolutely beautiful ballad cover of Bad Moon Rising, which is not Australian. So yeah, they have one album of covers of Australian stuff called Neighbours, and they have another album that's covers of really mellow stuff. And the most famous track of that was their version of This Guy's in Love with You. That album's called Beautiful. It's really nice. Kevy, mate, Aussie Kids shows. Bluey. I've never watched Bluey. Everyone says Bluey's really good. I've never actually watched Bluey. So my kids got too old. My kids were Pokemon kids. We watched season 1 of Pokemon on VHS a fucking 1,000 times. Safa, is it based on the TV show? I have no idea what that question. Johnny, something that would be played on a... Oh, Big Rich Cunt Spoke. Look, honestly, kind of, maybe. I don't know. It's not yacht rock. The Reels are not yacht rock. Their early stuff was really boppy 80s pop music. And they got a bit more soulful in their later stages. So, Johnny, for heavy music, been listening to Meshuggah. Gosh. Okay. Safa, no, actually there is a cover of the Neighbours theme song. Actually, was there? There was a cover of the Skippy, the Bush Kangaroo on it. But no, it's just a joke because they did all Australian covers They called the album Neighbours. Everything from Skyhook's horror movie, to Cold Chisel, Forever Now. And in fact, the clip they did for Forever Now, Steve Preswich, the drummer from Cold Chisel, who actually wrote the song, was in the clip for it. So yeah. Oh God, Johnny, heavy music. What was the heavy music I listened to in the 80s and 90s? I was listening to all the Fetus stuff. As Jim Thirlwell, Clint Ruin. He recorded under so many names: J.G. Thirlwell, Clint Ruin, all the Fetus names. And again, the various releases under the name Fetus were just hilariously gross. You've got Fetus on Your Breath. Scraping fetus off the wheel. It's hard. Okay, I've always pondered which of those is a grosser name. What's a grosser name? You've got fetus on your breath or scraping fetus off the wheel. Which of those is a grosser name? And there were a whole bunch of different Fetus releases, and they're just heavy, dark, industrial, techno, fucked up shit. And he also, possibly his darkest shit, was a collaboration with another guy called Rolly Mosselman, who did a whole bunch of shit through the 80s. But they recorded an album under the name Wise Blood, and holy shit, that album is fucked up. Like, I've got it on vinyl. That is a fucked up album. It's like track 1 is about a serial killer, and track 2 is also about a serial killer. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. And also, what was the other one? I'm trying to think. Was Revolting Cocks a Ministry spin-off? Piss Christ was a work of art. I think it was an Australian sort of hardcore band released an album called Christ Was a Cunt or something. And yes, Dr. Abigail, it does depend on what wheel they're referring to. Does it, though? Does it? No, Ministry of Sound was just dance music, Safa. Ministry was dark and heavy stuff. Now I feel compelled to look it up because Revolting Cocks were a spin-off of something. I think it was Al Jorgensen. Okay, what does Wikipedia say about the Revolting Cocks? Revco, American-Belgian industrial rock band, sometimes supergroup. Side project for Richard of Frontier Furu, Luc Van Acker. Al Jorgensen from Ministry. I knew, yes. Revolting Cocks were a spin-off of Ministry. Yes. Project Redfoot, that is a fun name. Sound of Animals Fighting. Punisher and Commander is awesome. Okay. But yeah, Revolting Cocks were just funny. Probably their most well-known track is called Beers, Steers, and Queers, which was clearly inspired by a line from the old Richard Gere movie, An Officer and a Gentleman, when who's playing the drill sergeant? Lou Gossett Jr. Is playing the drill sergeant who's just abusing all the recruits who are going to officer training camp, and he just abuses the shit out of them. They show up and he's asking them where they come from because he's black and they're all white, and he's just abusing the shit out of them. And he asks one guy where he comes from. I think he says Texas. He goes, boy, there's only 2 things come from Texas, steers and queers. And I don't see no goddamn horns on your head. Are you a goddamn queer? And so Revolting Cocks were inspired by that, of the track called Beers, Steers, and Queers, which is really good. So, Johnny, do we have any advice Oh, depends on Abigail, did I get it wrong? Was that Full Metal Jacket? It was Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. Well, I knew it was a drill sergeant. For some reason, I thought it was an officer and a gentleman. But anyway, it's a drill sergeant abusing recruits. Okay, that was when R. Lee Ermey came to notice. So, Johnny, it depends on the nature of the scam and what help you want, what you want to do. I mean, my initial thought on any scam is cut any ties from the person, block them from your life as much as possible. But you maybe want to pursue some things as well. Steers Queensland song which uses Trump rally. Okay, that's weird. Oh, okay, Dr. Abe, he improvised the drill scene. Here's the thing. Okay, Lee Ermey was a real drill sergeant in Vietnam. So he was recruited by Stanley Kubrick to be a consultant for the casting for Full Metal Jacket, which was a Vietnam film. And he said, like, okay, Lee, you know what it takes to be a drill sergeant. And Lee, who I don't know that he had acted before, but he's saying to Stanley Kubrick, no, I want to play the role. I want to play the role. And Kubrick saying, no, Lee, trust me, you can't act as yourself. I know you want to do it, but trust me, people can't act as themselves. So I need you as a consultant. I need you to help me pick which actor can actually play the role. So be here for the auditions. And so Ermey goes, okay. And he's sitting with Kubrick in a casting thing, and an actor's up there on the stage with the dialogue, where he's like abusing the recruits, and Kubrick's like, what do you think of this guy? And Lee Ermey just goes, fuck this guy. And he runs up on the stage and gets in the guy's face and starts doing drill sergeant shit on his face. Just going, who the fuck do you think you are? You got to fuck this up. And he just tore into this guy and reduced him to a gibbering wreck. And when the guy sort of left the stage sobbing, Stanley Kubrick, watching Lee Ermey, goes, okay, cool. No, okay, I get the point. Yep, it's you. You're the gunnery sergeant. So that's the story goes. That's how Lee Ermey went from being a consultant and a casting consultant to actually getting the role, just by reducing an actor to a gibbering wreck on stage. And keep going. Oh God, Johnny, I don't think Abigail uses Facebook. Do you use Discord at all? So, Johnny, someone's young and dumb. Yeah, I absolutely understand the urge for revenge on someone who fucking scammed you. I don't know to what degree it would work if you I don't know if you just want to like give information to the police, and I understand the urge for revenge and to hurt someone, but I kind of subscribe to the old proverb of if you seek revenge, you need to dig two graves, one for the other person and one for yourself. And it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult to let go because I've been fucked over in the past as well. And I abso-fucking-lutely understand the impulse to not let it go. Oh, good. You are going to the police. So that's good. If they're a straight up scammer, go to the fucking police. Definitely. And I absolutely understand the urge to want some fucking revenge and some punishment on these people, because I have been fucked over in the past. But whatever happens, remember first and foremost, you need to look after your own mental health. And while the impulse to hurt someone is quite strong and you can feel very justified in pursuing it, I don't believe it's ultimately good for you yourself to do that. So yeah. Yeah, no, Johnny, 100%, dude. Someone fucked with you when you were sick, fuck them. Absolutely, as a minimum, go to the fucking cops with the info you have, as a fucking minimum. But yeah, you yourself, your well-being should be first and foremost. Oh yeah, Redfoot, I think we've all been through things where we get fucked over by people we trust, and it sucks. Being attacked by a known enemy is one thing, and that can be hurtful and can have repercussions. But being fucked over by people you trust, oh, that's on a whole different level. That is on a whole different fucking level. And it fucking sucks. No two ways about it. But I'll always lean to protect yourself first and foremost. And the urge for revenge is absolutely understandable and honestly absolutely justified. But Jesus, just look after yourself first and foremost, because you can hurt yourself seeking to get revenge on someone. Oh, that sucks, Johnny. Lost the chats. You could have made a book or movie out of it. Yeah, I feel like I really understand what you're talking about. I feel like I've experienced similar things. Jesus. But yes, yeah, oh, dude, look after yourself first and foremost. And be very cautious about how far down the revenge path you go. I think you absolutely, if the person has committed, like criminal fraud and scammed you and shit, fucking absolutely give every bit of information you have to the cops. Abso-fucking-lutely. I feel like you just need to be very careful that the quest for revenge doesn't consume you. Need to talk to AZ. Yeah, he'd probably be good with this. I will, because poor fucker has been, let's say, under the weather for a while. He has some very serious health issues at the moment. But I'll try to remember to message him tomorrow, because what we have coming up, Friday night party, I might not go very late on Friday night, because Saturday night is state election night here, which is hopefully going to be a big night. So we may get AIDS on either Friday or Saturday night. So we will see. I'll try to remember to text him tomorrow. Thanks, Predator Redfoot. I always send him all the love of everyone on the stream. I don't want to do it now because I'm always paranoid about AIDS with all these health problems, has so much trouble sleeping. If I text him at a particular point and it wakes him up when he hasn't slept for 3 days, But I'll try to remember to text him during the day tomorrow, see how he's going. See if we can get him on Friday or Saturday night. Yes. Well, see, but okay, honestly, the weird thing is, AIDS in his weird hours now might be a better time than the middle of the day tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm always fucking paranoid. So yeah, Johnny, we'll try it. If you're free, Friday night, Saturday night, check in. Oh, Dr. Abigail, you're hoping to see him on Saturday. Well, that would be good. And in fact, possibly on the Discords or something, tell me the details of that. And I may try to catch up with the two of you. In fact, I would actually be quite keen on that. So yes, Dr. Abigail, if you can, like on Discord or something, we have a little chat about the plan for meeting Aidsy. I may try to meet the two of you and see. So Johnny, just by the by, I'm Angry Aussie on Discord. So you find me on there. And in fact, I actually set up a Discord channel under Angry Aussie. So I'll throw. Wait a sec. How do we do the thing? I'm gonna just because it's God. Okay, God's coming up on 10:30. I'm just going to bring up my Discord. What's someone saying to me? Monetization. Okay, so my own. All right, I'm going to do the thing. This is my Discord. Let me see if I've got it right. That's my Discord server. I can't. I don't. It's not too late. I think Mrs. Angry is still up in the next room, actually. But I'm kind of not tired, but it's like both Friday and Saturday night could be big. So I am actually supposed to work tomorrow. So I should maybe finish the stream, even though I'm not feeling tired. So I should maybe finish the stream and we can maybe do it big on Friday and or Saturday night. So we shall see. Yes, I'm really hoping that Saturday is a conclusive win for the Labor Party and conclusively tells various media pundits and pollsters to go fuck themselves because they don't know what they're talking about. But even though I'm not particularly tired now, I think I will end things now. And we might have a bigger night on Friday and or Saturday. We'll see how that goes. So you fine folk take care of yourselves. I hope to see you again another time, but I'm going to end this